Hey peeps, Erin Zen Warrior here. So I've started this topic because I spend a lot of time lately around manifestors, and I've spent a lot of time around manifesting generators, my first and favorite energy addiction of all time. And if you're a projector, you should know that you're an energy addict. But this topic does spread outside of human design. So for those of you who don't use human design, we can still look at the throat as our center of manifestation, a center that helps us create. And Carolyn Mace, who's an amazing medical intuitive, would also talk about it being our expression of will. And I think as a manifester or a manifesting generator, thinking of it as the expression of your will is a really cool way to think about it, right? What comes out of your mouth is expressing what you are going to do, what you want to have happen next, how you want things to be. And that's important for all of us from a law of attraction perspective, right? Like if you express something into your world that you don't really want in your world, be very careful. Words have power, right? And words don't have as much power as we think they do, but words that have emotion attached to them, that are integrated with frequency, those words have real power. So there's a lot of stuff in the manifestation world where it's like, oh, write it down, express it, do this, do that. And what they're really trying to get you to do is to practice a frequency. Doesn't matter how many times you write it down. It doesn't matter how many times you speak it. What matters is how many times you speak it and feel it. What matters is how many times you can integrate a frequency with the expression of those words, whether they're written or spoken. Or even just felt, I can walk along and think about being in my heart, think about this area, breathe into it, relax into it, shift my frequency into it, and my day can completely shift. I can also, spout the usual yoga drivel of, heart before head. And if I don't feel anything into it, it's just words. That's all it is. It's just words. And those words do carry a light frequency with them, but without some sort of integration on a frequency level, spoken words mean a lot less, right? They carry resonance on some level and maybe somebody else picks them up, and that's where you should be aware. But overall, what we say has more power to it when we integrate it with our whole body frequency, what we write down, etc. So the throat as your manifestation area is really interesting. Now, from an undefined throat perspective, so those people who have an undefined throat, it doesn't mean it doesn't work for them. People are like, oh, well, I'm not defined there, so that's not my thing. It's like, no, everybody is trying to get access to this area of willpower, area of throat manifestation. I want to be able to speak the words, to start bringing the frequency in, to start allowing it to become my reality, right? And so I want to be really careful when I speak words that I don't really want in my reality. Everyone always leaves me. That's been a theme I've been watching on something I've been following recently. And there's this constant running theme in this person's life. Oh, everyone always leaves me. And what's funny is I used to say that. Terrible thing to tell yourself, by the way. You really do set yourself up for a big ass fall every time. And I really believed it, and I really integrated words with it. And I was very capable of doing that. I had a massive loss when I was a child, and it was ingrained in my teenage system, essentially. My teenage system learnt that loss, and it integrated it so well, it really became the truth of my existence. Now I believe nobody really leaves, unfortunately. So anyway, if you have a defined throat, so I have a defined throat, I think that's pretty obvious. With a defined throat, you're going to express, you're going to manifest in certain ways. The way my throat manifests is designed to manifest is designed around myself, who I am, what it means to be me. And so if something is going to align with me, it is going to be for me. And I kind of believe that, because it's the way I'm circuited. And that's actually a very nice and easy way to gain access to my manifestation. It is, I speak from my true self and what my truth is. You hear these phrases all the time. Well, it's about who I am. I also have another way of speaking, and they kind of come together and all work together at once. But there's definitely this quality of it's got to align with who I am, you know? But my emotional center is not connected there. So that's interesting. That means that if I feel it, can I express it? Well, yes, but only when I'm around others. So I can emotionally integrate something. I can start pulling it towards me, and I have no need to express it in order for that to become reality, right? But there are other reasons we express in order to manifest. And this is where the manifestor and the manifesting generator become kind of interesting. Why is expression so important to these beings? Well, it's where their power comes from, right? The classic manifesting generator channel, the 3420, is I'm doing this now. You know, that's really essentially how it translates through the gates. This is power now. This is movement of energy now. This is creative force right now, you know? And so when the manifesting generator expresses and lets you know, and they inform you about what they're up to and what they're doing, they actually stop resistance to what they're doing. And this is the same for the manifestor. In fact, more so for the manifestor, because it's the way their entire system is gaining its power, right? The manifesting generator almost has a twofold power process. The classic manifesting generator with that manifesting generator channel is still moving so fast that in order to get people out of their way, not be confused and know what the fuck is going on, they just need to let them know. And there's this quality of like, oh, well, I'm not here to ask for permission. You're not asking for permission. You are letting people know so they don't get in your way. That's essentially what it is. It's like, hey, I'm just going to do this because this is my intention, you know? Because when you come in and you just make a mess, as the manifesting generator likes to do, and you just sort of rip the cover off things and go hell for leather like you have a tendency to do, which is kind of amazing to watch, but it also can get very, very messy. What ends up happening is people go, you just don't care. You just didn't care enough to take your time. What were you thinking? Were you even thinking? And I think as parents, we say this a lot to manifesting generator children. Did you even use your brain? And it's like, yeah, they probably didn't use their brain. They probably used their sacral motor. They probably used their instinct, their intuition, and they just didn't tell you what was going on, right? And they probably didn't go slowly enough in the process to moving that energy, because the manifesting generator really has to slow down. And sometimes their process of informing may actually make them slow down in and of itself, right? Just pausing long enough to let people know what's going on may be enough for you to hear what you're saying and go, do I still have sacral response to that? Does my sacral still jump for that, right? For the manifestor, it's a bit different, right? So it's slower process if they're emotional. And if they're splenic, it's super fast, right? So splenic manifestor is so fast, they've gone before we've even had a chance to really react to their impact. And that's if they're running correctly. And that's tough, right? That's really tough. And what a lot of people want to do to the splenic manifestor is they want to slow them down, right? Because that thing is popping impact everywhere. And what the splenic manifestor really needs to learn to do is just, or even worse, the ego splenic manifestor, right? Because that's quite a pushy energetic, or the ego manifestor, also a pushy energetic, on a whole nother level with that willpower tied up into that throat expression, is they really just need to have a nice phrase that comes in and goes, hey, I mean no harm. I'm up to this. Boom. And then they go from there, right? So for the manifestor to really reduce resistance around them, and there's a lot of resistance that comes up for manifestors because their aura is so impactful, it pushes out so much. It's something for them to really be aware of, that if they want to manifest easily in their life, they are going to need to inform. They are not asking permission, and they need to get good at it. That's what you need to practice. And the problem with the manifestor, more so than the manifesting generator, though you do see elements of it, is because they live in their own insular little bubble. And I keep trying to explain this to manifestors, actually. I'm like, you don't get that the rest of us are having kind of more of an intimate experience than you. The projector is in everyone, sucking up and absorbing everything. It doesn't get more personal than the projector experience, right? We are in you. I'm standing next to some random at the supermarket and I am in them, and I don't really like it, by the way, right? It's this constant being in everyone. Whereas the generator is this porous kind of aura that's hugging everyone, that's kind of sponging little bits and pieces up. So between the big wraparound hug of the generator and the penetrative aura of the projector, the whole thing's pretty intimate. But the manifestor is in its own little bubble, right? It's in its own little world. And it never has that experience. And I kind of feel sorry for you guys, in a way. I kind of feel sorry for the manifestor that they never get to experience personal, what it is to be really personal. And I don't mean take something personally. That's just, can you recognize that everyone's in their own world in their own way, right? And that when they say something, they actually are not being personal, they're reacting. Unless they were deliberately talking to you for you. And that is, what a projector is meant to be practicing. But anybody is capable of actually doing that and being there for you. That's personal. That's about you, But when someone offends you, it's not personal. When a manifestor impacts you, it's really not personal, but it can feel very personal. It can feel very, very full on, And I think the manifestor just is very, very unaware of the rest of the world in a bizarre way, because it does not have a personal experience like the rest of the world is having. I am leaving reflectors out a little bit here. And again, the reflector kind of doesn't have the personal experience. It's such a different beast. I almost feel like I always need to leave the reflector out for later, because it samples auras. So it gets kind of a glimpse, but it's a Teflon aura. Nothing sticks to it. So it doesn't get the same personal experience that the generators and the projectors are having. We're all out here rubbing up against each other, absorbing shit off each other, wrapping ourselves around each other, inserting ourselves into each other. So when that manifestor wants to manifest its stuff and it wants to move fast, it will move incredibly fast if it learns to let people know, if it learns to inform. And, I had a friend of mine the other day send me something, and I just thought, what is this even about? And they were like, oh, didn't you learn anything from it? And I'm like, hang on, it's talking about something I already know. So what am I meant to learn from it? And they came from a totally different angle than I would look at that piece of information, because I have my subjective perspective and you have your subjective perspective. And there is no such thing as objectivity. And the only type that gets close to that is the reflector. And again, I'm going to put them over there because it's still not completely objective. They're still running a subjective viewpoint for their design. And that's the thing to remember. And, when we get into relationship, when we get into friendship, when we get into anything, we have this quality where we think the world should be as we are. That's our arrogance, and we all have it. And we're all really, really fucking arrogant that way. Like, I can't say it enough. If you don't think you're arrogant, I think you're deluded, because I know I'm arrogant. I mean, I think it's probably quite clear that I'm arrogant sometimes, but I really do have this perspective that the world coulda, shoulda, woulda do it my way, and every now and again I hear myself doing that and I'm like, yeah, that's me running away with myself. That's me getting caught up in my own thing, and whilst there are some natural laws here, it's all subjective. So when the manifestor goes and drops something in there and just expects you to get it, and then they wonder why they don't, and then they wonder why that person is basically telling them, like, what the fuck is wrong with you, which is exactly what happened in this situation. Like, what they didn't do there was they didn't inform me at all. And then I had to ask for the informing, and then they still didn't really inform me, which was interesting. They just kind of went, oh, don't you get it? And it's like, no, I don't. That's why I'm asking you. And that's something I would say to anyone. Like, what we can learn from the manifestor and the manifesting generator is this quality of informing is so important for them to be able to move fast, for them to be able to manifest quickly. But that also works for us too. I think we're all here to learn from each other. And what we're here to learn is, if I inform you about what I want, if I tell you what's important to me, I'm more likely to get it. And if I just expect you to know, chances are you probably aren't going to get it, right? Because you're living in your own bubble. And if you're a manifestor, you're so in your own bubble. And if you're dating a manifestor, they're so in their own bubble. And that's the other thing. People take a lot of stuff from all of us personally a lot of the time. And it's like, we're all so in our own bubble. Do you know who we're really personal with? Ourselves. And yes, It's a bit different for the projector. The projector is the most personal design. It is so much about the other that everything is personal to us. Everything is really personal to us. But also wasting my time is personal to me. So if you don't inform me, yeah, I take it personally, because fucking inform, right? Like, run your design. Or if you're not designed with, the throat center defined, you're here to learn about it. And part of the learning is informing makes your day easier. So have a great day. I'm not telling you need to ask people for permission to do stuff or for permission to have stuff. What I'm saying is when you let people know what you want, it is more likely that they will A, get out of your way, B, be less concerned with what on earth is going on. In the case of the manifestor and the manifesting generator, they can just rip shit and bust so quickly that they don't realize that people are like, hang on, what just happened here? Right? Like everybody's still recovering from that impact. So, and in the case of everyone else, we're all here trying to get what we want. There's only one way you're going to get that, and that's by getting everybody on your team, or by learning that they're not and removing them entirely. Have a great day. Erin Zen Warrior signing out. Please don't forget to hit like, follow, comment, etc., etc. Lizzie, so nice to see you. Been a long time. Send me messages. Talk to me about things. Talk to me about the deep frustration of what it is to not have someone inform you. I would love to hear about it. And I might even, without putting people's full tails up, refer to some of them a little bit and go, like, if you're happy to let me share your, when someone didn't inform with me, this is what happened scenario, and let me share it, just go, oh, okay to share. I would quite like to do this is the situation that happened to me. And if they just fucking told me what they were doing, it would have been so much easier. Or a situation where you didn't inform and it blew up in your face. I just want to read out, Shane, you've made a comment there, right with you on this page. I've often thought, why can't this person in my life just read my mind and get it? Yeah. And that's the thing, right? And like women are often accused, like this is considered kind of a female thing where we expect you to just know. It's like, oh, well, you should just know. And I'm like, I will tell every woman, including myself, right? If you want it, ask. If you don't get what happened there, ask. If something is not working right, try communication. And I think that's the bottom line here. Manifestation requires communication. Does not require permission, but it does require communication. Relationship requires communication. An easeful life requires communication. If you want something to go your way, you have to let people know what your way is. And then if you expect it to go your way because you've now informed, now you're a dick, right? Because everybody gets the right to choose whether they're in or they're not. And that's the other thing you're doing when you're informing people. You're giving them the opportunity to run their own authority as to whether they even want to be here or whether they really want to be here, Anyway, thanks, Shane. I'm out.